Hi, my name is Leanne Ray. Today we're going to be going over how to construct an underdrawing using both gesture and stinging points. There's other underdrawing processes that you can use. You should have gone over those in class. Whichever underdrawing process you feel comfortable with and that you identify with is the one that we want you to use. But today I'm going to go over how I use gesture and stinging points to construct a drawing, and we'll have a second video on pushing that drawing further using contour. So all gesture is breaking things down into big simple shapes. Think back to like kindergarten, circles, squares, triangles. So we're trying to just look for big shapes. So if we're drawing something like this skull, for instance, the first thing that we'll start with is not a shape, but is a line of action that goes all the way through the form and exaggerates the direction that you see the object is going in, right? So this skull is kind of going in a swish to the left. So I'm trying to capture that swish to the left in my drawing. And then we're going to build off of that line of action, looking for those big shapes. So I'll first look for that big circular shape in the back, the cranium, and I'll just get that simple circular shape down, and then the front of the skull can be simplified into kind of a rectangular shape. And then I might build off of that, looking for the direction that the eyes are pointing, maybe a little spot where the nose might be. I don't want to fully get that in my drawing. I don't want to contour that out right now. I just want to show where I think the nose is, the direction that the teeth are going in, and then maybe kind of flesh this out a little bit more, kind of look for the silhouette, but I don't want to push a gesture too far. I just kind of want to get major shapes that I see down. Next, I'm going to push this back because I never want my underdrawing to be the star of the show. It's just me getting something on my paper that I can start building upon and work with. On top of this gesture, I'm going to sting points. When you sting points, I like to think of the phrase sting like a bee. You're trying to draw quick. You're trying to get information down really quickly. You're still looking for shapes, right? You might not be looking for big shapes. You'll be looking for tiny, unnameable shapes. Anywhere that your eye rests is where you should plot a point. So if your eye stops at the top of the bridge of the nose, plot a point, right? Most important thing is that you physically stop and plot a point as you're drawing. I'm a very competitive person, so I like to start a drawing somewhere that I feel might be a little hard to draw. So I'm going to start at the top of that nose. I'm going to start in the middle of my drawing, and I'm going to plot points. So anything can be a point. Anytime your eye kind of stops for a minute, that's kind of where I have myself plot a point down. I keep my pencil on the page, and I think of this like I'm an investigator trying to improve my drawing that I started with, right? So I know that my gesture that I made first is this quick drawing. There's no way that it can be right. So I'm not just tracing around my gesture. I'm trying to look for all the places that maybe I got the shape of something wrong, or I didn't get enough information, and kind of improve upon that drawing, right? Looking for tiny shapes. When I get to things like teeth, I just want to kind of keep those pretty general. You can save information like that for when you're contouring. Anywhere my eye goes, my pencil goes. Okay. And that would be kind of enough information for stinging points. Before I go to contour, I want to measure my drawing and make sure that there's no glaring proportion issues. We've gone over how to measure in our last video, but I'm going to measure this again with you guys so you can follow along if you need to. So before I measure, I'm going to box my drawing in. Kind of get my filmmaker view. It's an important step, don't skip it. And then when we go to measure, I'm going to grab my string, and all I'm going to check is how many times the width fits into the height. So I'm going to take my left thumb, put it on my leftmost point, my right thumb, put it on the right, and then I'm going to turn my string vertically, scan through, see how many times that fits in there. It's a little bit under 1, so let's bring that back to our drawing. Let's see. Okay. And my string if you can see, is a little bit under 1. So my proportion's right. So I know that there's no glaring issues. So you just want to check for that. Sometimes you accidentally make something like really wide and you don't mean to. So if you can fix that in the beginning, it'll set you up for success. Next, we're gonna go over how to push this drawing further with contour, and we'll see you in the next one.